Welcome back, everyone. There were some big announcements about Marvel's Avengers 6 Secret Wars movie and how they're wrapping up the multiverse storyline with a bunch of Easter eggs and references to even the oldest pre-MCU movies that will actually, weirdly enough, pay off references and deleted scenes in things that they tried to do in those earlier movies but just couldn't for whatever reason. And they're bringing back a big legacy Marvel movie director to actually make the movie. I know there's tons of questions about Marvel splitting Secret Wars into two movies now. I'll address that too, because that would mean they'd release 3 Avengers movies in 3 years back to back, which is unprecedented. That'd be like them just wheeling out dump trucks of money from the movie theaters. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. Speaking of multiverse, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is also coming out this week. There's lots of rumors about how they're tying that into the Secret Wars plot down the road with the second part in Beyond the Spider-Verse. I've got a bunch of videos for that planned, and we're giving away movie tickets to random people in the comments. I'll name winners during this video too, and thank you to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this week's giveaway. Raid is one of the biggest mobile games in the world that's totally free to play, and they just premiered a limited series called Raid Call the Arbiter, which is available free inside the Raid Shadow Legends game. New episodes are released inside the game every Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, the finale scheduled for July 20th, and all you have to do to watch is just log into the game. You don't have to sign up for like the billionth streaming service, which is kind of nice. The series gets into the wider lore of the game, so if you're a big fan of that, it actually goes pretty deep on it. They're also celebrating the release of the series by adding a ton of extra lore to the character bios and giving you a chance to get Artak, one of the characters from the new show, as a playable legendary champion through their 7-day loyalty program. All you have to do to get the new legendary character is log in once every 7 days between now and July 24th. On top of that, players that are brand new to the game can use my link in the description or scan the QR code that I put on screen here to get a free starter pack with a bunch of loot. When you use it, the rewards will be in your inbox up here, so be sure to check it out. It's actually a pretty cool series. Recently, it was reported that Sam Raimi, of all people, is Marvel's pick to direct Secret Wars, as well as Doctor Strange 3. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of people in the jokes now that'll say now Bruce Campbell has to be their version of the Beyonder, like he's another Kang variant who just happens to be the Beyonder.
Cosmic conquerors, mad titans, and guys with really bad complexions. And that is what we're here to talk about. I'm Bruce Campbell, and I'll be your host as we journey beyond the confines of our own humdrum reality and see what's really cooking in the multiverse.
The order of some of the Marvel Phase 6 movies has changed a little, and they haven't completely announced which Marvel movies are coming out between Avengers 5 and Avengers 6. But originally their plan was to have Doctor Strange 3 be the culmination of the Time Runs Out storyline in the Avengers comics, like the last movie before Secret Wars. In the original comic storyline, the final incursions wind up happening. The Beyonders try to destroy the rest of the multiverse, with Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange teaming up with the power of Molecule Man to stop them from completely erasing reality, and Doctor Doom becomes God Emperor Doom by taking their power and combining the remnants of all the universes that are left over into a single battle world with all the other characters from the multiverse that survive. So you wind up with a single Earth for all of reality with a bunch of multiverse characters.
Transport to this planet, the Fantastic Four.
Affirmative.
And there's another who was a big help to me against Carnage and Venom. My friend, Iron Man.
Affirmative.
There's another team of superheroes that I've worked with before. Computer, bring me one of the X-Men.
Which one?
Good question.
The MCU version of all these events will be a little bit different, and reportedly this version of Secret Wars will be more like an amalgam of the classic 1980s Secret Wars and the more modern version of Secret Wars. But basically, the end of Doctor Strange 3 is the end of the incursions. That's why there was all the incursions talk in the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness post-credit scene with Clea. Most of reality winds up getting destroyed, and Anthony Mackie's new Avengers team, whoever winds up being on that new roster, fight the Dynasty of Kangs in Avengers 5. I believe that storyline's meant to borrow a little from the classic Avengers and Fantastic Four storylines featuring the Council of Kangs, because there aren't any recent major Avengers storylines that feature the Council of Kangs. But the whole teaser in the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania post-credit scene was the Council of Kangs, the Dynasty of Kangs, fighting the new Avengers to stop them from breaching the multiverse even more. And originally what they were going to do is have Avengers 5 and Avengers 6 happen in back-to-back years like Infinity War and Endgame, so Avengers 5 would have a downer ending where the new Avengers are mostly killed by the Council of Kangs. Sort of like the same ending as The Snap, where things end badly for the new Avengers. And because of everything that's going on with Jonathan Majors, Marvel slowly just kind of wants to move past that Kang storyline. So I believe also part of the idea is that the Beyonder will be played by a different actor, and it'll just be another Kang variant who will wind up killing the rest of the Council of Kangs. Like, who can defeat the Council of Kangs? Not the new Avengers, but another Kang that's even more powerful, played by a completely different actor. In that version of the Beyonder winds up being the one to create Battleworld, pulling all the characters that survive from the multiverse to it. And just like Avengers Endgame, Secret Wars will feature a slightly different roster of characters. Like, some will survive Kang Dynasty, but mostly it will be different characters. And most of those characters will wind up being the legacy Marvel actors from the older Marvel movies pre-MCU. Like, you have your classic Spider-Man movies, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. That was also one of the reasons why in Spider-Man No Way Home, they said, we should do this again sometime.
We should do this again, like, all hang out.
It's nice. Yeah, I fought an alien made out of black goo once.
Oh, no way. I fought an alien too. On Earth and in space.
For sure, yeah, it's a good idea. I'll just grab your number at the end of the battle.
You got it.
I want to fight an alien.
Because they were always planning on bringing those characters back during Secret Wars, big multiverse crossover. That's how they bring back the classic X-Men actors, the classic Fantastic Four actors. And during Secret Wars, Doctor Strange, who has survived Kang Dynasty, winds up pulling together a multiverse Avengers team of even more powerful characters using these legacy actors. And reportedly, Kevin Feige wanted this version of Secret Wars to be a big swan song for those classic Marvel actors that they never really got because of all the different buyouts, the different reboots, the Fox Disney deal that went through. And they'll use that to pay off a lot of the cool deleted scenes and ideas for crossovers that they had when all those different studios controlled the characters back in the day, but they just couldn't pull off for legal reasons or scheduling reasons or whatever. Like Kevin Feige doing his version of the Patton Oswalt filibuster movie.
He would go find, Spider-Man. He would go find Moon Knight. He would go find Daredevil. Back to the Quinjet, and Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four is piloting it. Oh, it was a fake out.
Before all the rumors about them splitting Secret Wars into two parts, originally I think they were meant to end Secret Wars with the Multiverse Avengers beating that Beyonder character, whoever he winds up being played by, and they bring back the multiverse with some changes to allow Marvel to explain how X-Men mutants start popping up all over the place in the main 616 universe. And all the legacy Marvel actors go back to their universes, like they restore things, but with a couple changes that allow them to make the movies that they want to make in the future with new actors.
I think the history I know is a little different.
Now, because of the extra delays, though, because of all the strike stuff that's happening, they've been pushing stuff the last year. There have been a couple rumors that Marvel wants to do a Secret Wars that's so big, they have to split it into two parts. Mostly, they also want that money, too, but they really want to have a giant story that's just way too big for a single movie. Avengers Endgame almost got to 3.5 hours, so you can imagine, like, they could have almost just gone a little bit longer and split that movie into two different parts. And if they wind up doing this, Secret Wars Part 2 would play out a little bit more like Avengers Forever in the comics, which is like Avengers but across the timeline with some changes, like Avengers from different points in the timeline showing up to defeat the Beyonder, and that's how you bring back characters that died, like Robert Downey Jr. returning as a version of Iron Man. He actually went on Joe Rogan talking about this too, like, wouldn't it be cool if you just stepped out of a time machine, boom.
Here's what I think. Right. They go through a few semi-lackluster Avengers movies without you. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Here's the scene. There's a moment where the world's fate is at stake, and they realize they need a super genius. And then they figure out how to restart that time machine.
Great.
Come on, man.
Is that
the audience sees you when you step out of that thing?
Is this your? And you want a little arc on it too? Because if this is your idea, then you got to show up for it too.
I'll do it. I'll show up. What do I have to do?
I don't know.
I'll do whatever I have to do.
We all have to do whatever Kevin Feige
I'll hold
says.
the thing.
But as part of all this Secret Wars craziness, they pay off all the biggest, coolest ideas that they had long ago, either deleted scenes or just ideas that never wound up making it to the screen that they couldn't pull off because of legal reasons or scheduling reasons. One of the best examples is Spider-Man crossing over with Wolverine in the classic X-Men and Spider-Man movies. Let me know in the comments, who do you actually want to direct that Avengers 6 movie, Secret Wars, and what do you want them to do with all the different multiverse characters coming back from the classic X-Men, the classic Spider-Man, Fantastic Four movies? One of the great things about Secret Wars is they do wind up doing it as two parts. They could do pretty much every crazy idea, every crazy theory that any fan comes up with. So that's one of the fun things too. Any fan theory that you have is probably at least partially correct at this point. That's how crazy it's going to get during Secret Wars. Very much a shut up and take my money situation. Congratulations to Kieran, Malcolm Tudor, and Larry Miller. You're the giveaway winners for my last big Marvel video. Please email me on the About page of my channel so I can get your contact details. My Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse review video will post Wednesday after they allow us to. My post-credit scene video, full Easter eggs, breakdown videos, we'll start posting later this week after it comes out, so be sure to go see it as soon as possible. Everyone click here to learn how Robert Downey Jr. almost became Doctor Doom of the Marvel movies, and click here for my new Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse trailer video and Easter eggs. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.